HPV rant part 2. I forgot the most important part. Everybody or most people call HPV STD or STI. It's a contact disease, and I've known that for a long time. And people need to realize that so that they can protect their families from, getting it. Because if they have it, the shot predates a certain age group. So they can have it, and they can be transmitting it all the time. And they're not going to get the shot, and then they may not know they have it. But if they know enough to be careful, then, its transference will begin to decline, which is why the university and medical system disappointed me when they didn't educate people and just chose to give a shot and immunity boosting injection. If you read the publication before you, and this in no way has anything to do with me, it's just something I ran into. It comes out of, sadly I was, too much focused on the subject that was in front of me. I forgot to record which university in the USA it came from. I only remember that it came from an American university. But apparently this is research and understanding that was done by some students, or whatever you want to call them, in America. So people need to, learn this, know this, understand this. And they will be able to help themselves and their families in the future. It's a sad thing to say, but technically I was very happy when I found this. HPV is also being detected in children and virgins. How does a virgin get it if it's an STD? Are all these children that they're finding it in molested children, abused children? I highly doubt that, but you never know, right? I can't make any claim I'm unsure of. I'm just pointing out the facts that are stated by others, not me. But nobody else has taken their time to discuss this with you, educate you, and help you to protect your family and the future of humanity, technically. Because we all are, most of us, or at least us in North America, are very, China knows too though. So it's not just North America, but a lot of people know what happened with SARS and how quickly it all of a sudden went from Mexico to all over the freaking world. So if it can do that, and HPV has been around a lot longer, where is it? It's everywhere. And nobody has taken the time to educate, be preventative, take its burden and costs out of the medical system. And all the other things that it negatively contributes. Which, there's lots of things that we don't understand or don't know. So I can't begin to comprehend every aspect of what it's responsible for and how much of a burden or cost it is to, Canada's medical system alone. But they now say that things like fist bumping are cutting the instances of cancer down dramatically. which I'd always wondered if the reason for lower cancer in China was because they bowed instead of shaking hands. So when they started publishing that data over the past few years, I started to wonder, well, am I correct? Is the lower incidence of cancer in China partially because they bow instead of shaking hands? I prefer bowing. If you are dealing with people that have touch issues and all that kind of stuff, especially, you're not infringing upon them and calling them rude if they don't want to shake your hand. You're also, lots of people, well, as they say, lots of guys don't wash their hands when they go to the washroom. So, how many things are being transferred, on a regular basis? But the big relevant thing here, medical instruments that are considered sterile may also serve as medium for HPV transmission. So you can be going in for surgery for one thing and be coming back out with something else. And you just registered in your head, oh, I just got fixed. Meanwhile, you just got a new problem. Makes sense, eh? But it also says from a university study, not my words, I'm not claiming to be a medical professional or anything of that sort. I will fight with them because some of them are just fucking stupid. And I don't hold my mouth and my tongue. But I'm not going to claim to be something I'm not. But all those disinfectant soaps and cleansers that we're using, they don't work against HPV. So chemical disinfectants used in hospitals and other other healthcare settings have absolutely no effect on killing human papillomavirus. Myers said. I don't know who Myers is. You can probably find his name somewhere on the internet associated with HPV. You can also find Joel Plefsky's name on the internet and in lots of videos on YouTube associated with HPV. But I don't speak for him either. But he's the HPV in North America. HPV expert, recognized HPV expert in North America. So like I said before, I tried calling him, but I only got his assistant calling me back. So it says the autoclaving systems or bleach are the only effective autoclaving systems they use in hospitals, and bleach are the only effective things to use against HPV. So, you might even not make it into surgery or go there for surgery. You may literally walk into a hospital, and because you're going somewhere where disease gathers, when you're just going to open the door, you may be picking up something new. I can't say. I don't know for sure. But we really need to take the sexual association away from HPV, because it isn't. Sure, it can be transmitted in sexual areas, and certain strains are, only abundant in those regions, so they only thrive in those regions. But if we take away the STI-STD association from it, people will no longer go through the shame and embarrassment of needing to discuss it. So if we literally start understanding it as a contact disease, which is what it is. You know, when you see those guys always walking around scratching themselves and then, you know, wanting to shake your hand, well, then you have to run and wash your hand. But they're still going to go, come in contact with the doorknob and whatever else they're going to do. And, you know, walking down the stairs holding the railing, or going down the escalator holding the railing, and the escalator is going to go around a loop and a loop. And how many other people are going to stand in that exact spot and put their hand on the freaking railing? I have no idea. Like I said, I also have not been able to find out the life of this virus, and there are like at least apparently 100, if not 200, different strains. So each one is probably going to be a slight variant and have a slightly, different makeup. So to generalize and talk about it, there's going to be some inaccuracies of the things that I'm saying. So please realize that I don't mean to do that, but to sit here and gather knowledge about all of them and then discuss it. How long would it take me to gather information about 200 different cars and then discuss each one independently with you? So please let me generalize and realize that I'm doing it for a reason. And also because, I have some ignorance where I do not know certain things and I can't claim to. So I'm doing it on purpose, but I'm not trying to be one of those alpha, like especially the medical system. They're so insecure now that the internet has become big that you literally can't go to them and talk like you actually know something. They feel threatened. I actually have a circumstance where I would talk about. My physician diagnosed me with MS. I went for a second opinion, but Dr. Tovich has nothing to do with this. Anyways, the initial thing that happened to me, which was, crazy, but I woke up in the morning and it wasn't, just overnight. I'd been ignoring the pain in my temple, basically a pain like that's, that big in my left temple for about 2 weeks, and it had been constant. So then I woke up in the morning and all of a sudden I was completely blind in my left eye, which was only temporary. It took about 2 years to grow back to where it is now, which isn't as perfect as it was, because I had 20/20 vision. Now I probably got about I think it was 15/20 the last time I had it checked. But anyways, when I went on a Thursday because I woke up blind. All of a sudden on the Friday they had me at the eye doctor, and then on the Monday they had me at the neurologist, Dr. Semler. Semler was an idiot. That's why I went. He was the reason I went for the second opinion with Tovich. But Tovich told me I had giant cell. Anyways, before I go ranting about some other bullshit, back to what we're talking about. Oh wait, what was it? My physician and his brilliance. Some of you people, will actually know a thing or two about massage. So you will understand what I'm saying here. Some of you won't. Just ask a masseuse. Look into the benefits of massage, because that's what this, and my distrust of the medical system came out full blown. I'm blind in my left eye and I'm talking to my physician, and I told him I'm doing this to my eye, and he says, don't do that. Don't massage my eye. People rub with their knuckle and side of their hand, all kinds of shit. I'm just talking about I'm gently massaging my eyeball. I also massage my temple, but he told me not to massage my eye. Well, massage is good for oxygen, blood flow, and a whole bunch of shit, which is the problem that I'm having with my eye, but I didn't know it at that time. So I was actually taking care of myself, and my physician told me not to. So yeah, I got a big problem with them. But let's get out of that and go back to HPV, because this isn't about me. I got a whole bunch of shit. So we would be here for the next 10 years if this was about me, but we got a bigger problem to deal with. I want to stop all you people from giving me HPV. Well, you know, it's never my fault, so it has to be your fault, right? Understand that. I'm blaming you. All 7 billion of you. No, I always take responsibility for what I have caused. More so than I should have. I should have, kept my mouth shut a few times and not, bore the weight of that responsibility and made it easier on myself. But to hell with it. As you notice, I'm the guy here doing this. When the people that you pay or fund, universities, schools, and all that kind of shit in the medical system, especially in Canada, we pay for ours really well. They're not doing shit for you, and I am. You gonna give me $1? I'll take $1 from each of us. That'll be 7 billion. Don't forget it, you owe. Okay, back to the topic at hand, because see, I'm right about other shit. But this HPV in children and virgins, yes, I realize that they said that HPV can be transmitted to the child when the child comes down the birth canal. Well then, shouldn't we have started talking about, well, the mother would have had it to give it to the child to begin with. But no, we're not discussing any of that either. And that might also be responsible for where the virgins got it, but I don't know. And I really don't know which strain they're talking about. So, certain strains grow in different regions in different ways. So maybe they couldn't have possibly came from the birth canal. But I don't have that much information about it. So there's a lots of stuff that needs to be looked at and examined here and needs to be talked about. And people need to start talking about it, or at least being told that they need to talk about it so they can choose to do that. And they're not. They're being failed miserably by their government, by the system they fund, by the medical system they trust. Just as mine failed me when I, went blind in my left eye and my physician told me not to take care of myself when he couldn't. You people are, you don't have it right in your face. You don't have the circumstances that I did. But you're being let down and disappointed in the same way. You just don't know it. It's like being fucked, but you don't know you're getting fucked. So would you like being fucked and not enjoying the pleasure of being fucked? Yeah, exactly. Well, that should explain the circumstances that we're talking about here and put everything in perspective now. But these guys here that put out this study, or this publication, there might have been more, but I don't know. The immunity of the virus to common disinfectants, which is revealed in the new study, shows risk of transmission, and researchers call for policy changes in the use of disinfectants. So basically, the only thing I can say is start washing everything with bleach water. I don't know how high of a concentration of bleach in the water you need, but we can't. Where's that autoclaving word? We can't autoclave our door handles and our car door handles and everything. Our bolt paddles and all that. We can't autoclave them. So the only thing that I can advise you to use is use bleach and water to start washing the things around you. It's funny, they use disinfectants in places like nursing homes and that kind of stuff. And I'm not talking about bleach in any way, that they use. I don't know if they wash with that. But they have the little pump bottles when you walk through the door to go into the nursing home. And, they're expecting and thinking that they're protecting the residents. And they're not. And if you go to, I only know about Tim Hortons local. I don't know about the other ones. But if you go to local Tim Hortons here, which is actually right across, I go to the one right across from the university quite often. And they have a bottle of disinfectant on the wall, which is the same disinfectant that I'm already, I don't know about the same kind or anything, but it's the, same design. It's a, little thick substance, and you squirt it out like you squirt a hand soap bottle, and it's a no wash. It evaporates, and they're thinking that it's safe to go about, having the clients functioning like this after they've used the washroom. And then they're touching the counter, they're touching the railing for the lineup, and some of them are sitting down in the seats, touching the tables, touching the chairs. They're sending out the workers to mop the place, all kinds of stuff. But it's all a lie. This says so. Not me. I believe it. I'm just not claiming that these are facts that I know to be true. I don't have